handed, but we have enough of the critical roles filled for tonight. So I guess tonight means we will have and because we're shorthanded, it means we'll have a extended table topics. But at this time, let's go over some of the roles that have been filled, and we'll start with the general evaluator, Buck.
Thank you very much. I will be the general evaluator tonight. We have a team. Our team is consisted of a counter grammarian, which is David. David, you want to tell us what you're going to do this evening?
Sure. This evening, I will be your all counter and your grammarian. And as all counter, I will be looking for filler words, which are words that are not necessary or really a meaningful part of a speech or conversation. There's the obvious ones like or you know what I mean, Vern, things like that. But there's also other filler words like so or and. Those can be filler words if they're just used to fill the silence. And it's good not to have too many of those. Occasional ones that slip out are fine, but it distracts from the message and distracts from meaningful conversation. In addition, as the grammarian, I will be looking for improper use of the English language, which is something I think we do pretty well with, but I'll be on the lookout for that. If I see anything outstanding, we're not. Okay. Also, I, as grammarian, will be doing the word of the day, and the word of the day is nuance, which I will put in chat in just a minute. Can y'all hear me okay? Donovan was saying I was in and out. Okay. But the word of the day is nuance, which I don't have the definition right here, but I'll get it and put it in chat in just a minute. And that's my role for this evening. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Right. Okay. The timer, which is Cheyenne.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I will be keeping track of the time this evening for our table topics. And you will see your cue with my little paint bottles that I have here. So the green will indicate 1 minute and you have reached the minimum amount of time. The yellow is a warning. And then the red is to let you know that you've reached the maximum amount of time at 2 minutes. And I'll give my report at the end.
Thank you. And for our table topics for tonight, will be presented by Donovan.
Yes, thank you, Maurice. And I don't have to say it because we don't have any guests tonight. So basically what I'm going to do is basically I'll ask you a question. It can be I can either ask y'all a question and then ask for a volunteer, or I can call for a volunteer and then ask you a question. That would be basically the role of the table topics, and the theme that I'm doing is Valentine's Day since it's next week. Thank you. Back to Mr. Toastmaster.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Donovan. So at this time, since we don't have any prepared speeches, we will move right into table topics. And our table topics master for tonight is Donovan. And good
Thank
evening,
you.
Kyler.
Go ahead.
No, good evening, Kyler. That's all.
Okay. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to call for a volunteer, then I'll ask the question. Who would like to volunteer? Okay, Kylo, your question is, what is one symbol you think represents Valentine's Day
Hmm.
and why?
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, and Donovan, thank you for the very thought-provoking question. I've been asked what symbol represents Valentine's Day the best and why. The first thing that comes to my mind would be the kind of the classic heart symbol, you know, for the, you know, the love that Valentine's Day represents. Right after that would probably be Saint Valentinus himself. Is it Valentine? Was it Valentine? Or is it just Valentine? Okay. Yeah. So those are the two symbols I sort of think of, and they're it's kind of funny. They're kind of contrasting because one is more like an Eros kind of love, you know, like, and then the other one is more the love for Saint Valentine was actually, if I remember, it was more like a spiritual kind of love. It was kind of like loving humanity the same way you would love God or love yourself. So it's interesting that these kind of two conflicting symbols kind of come to mind when we celebrate Valentine's Day, and we tend to think of it as a you know, more or less romantic holiday when it's supposed to be probably something a little more liturgical or spiritual or something to think about. And then last but not least would probably be the Valentine's Day card and the I guess the consumerism that comes with Valentine's Day. So it's interesting. It's hard for me to pin down like a solid meaning for Valentine's Day, and I don't know if that's just me or if that's just the nature of the holiday. But either way, I think number one symbol for Valentine's Day for me would be the heart shape or symbol. And with that, I turn the lecture back to you, Donovan.
Thank you, Carlo. That was very evoking, very interesting. Who would like to volunteer next? Okay, Buck, your question is, what is one charitable act have you done this week? When did you do it?
A charitable act I've done this week. Well, I am in a household right now that is quarantining because of COVID. I've been looking after the little ones while my wife has been sick. Been looking after my wife when I can. We have 4 kids, so anything I can do to help her, it all is a charitable act. I try to be more charitable than I am usually, although I always try to help. And these times I try to help more. I've been trying to do things like keep the kids entertained. We've watched movies, we've watched cartoons, we've watched Scooby-Doo often. We've played video games. Lego video games are the top in the house right now. All this stuff to kind of keep everybody having fun, give mom a little bit of rest. And when my little ones are sick, give them something fun to do and try to bring in some normalcy in this weird time where we're all stuck inside in lockdown. So the only way we get out is in the Lego world, and we're ordering food in and trying to just make the best of the fun and have popcorn and movies. That's the charitable thing I've been trying to do this week. Thank you, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, Buck. That was very inspiring, and it actually touched my heart because I also have nephews who, like, of all times, like, there's not the best time to, have kids right now. Well, not have kids, but try to get them to see that there's a normal for us right now, and it's not that easy. Who would like to volunteer next? Okay, Cheyenne. Your question is, in your mind, what flower represents Valentine's Day?
Hello, everyone. I've been asked what flower represents Valentine's Day to me. Well, I think of the typical rose. You have pink, red, and different colors of roses. That is the standard that I think of. That one too, the red and the yellow. There's people that dye the roses to make different colors. So that's a fun trend that people are doing. I'll just share a little tradition in my family. Every day for Valentine's Day, my uncle gives my grandmother, his mom, a rose that is dipped in gold, and he's given her a different color every year for the past 5 years, and they almost feel like glass. So that's fun. There's unnatural rose colors like blue, and I think there's like purple's her favorite color, so I got her one of those. But that's just fun. But my favorite flower is sunflowers. And so for me, I would like my Valentine's Day flower to be sunflowers. So, all right, thank you. And back to you, Donovan.
Thank you, Cheyenne. That's very touching. Actually, the a rose kind of makes me think of my grandmother who passed away not too long ago. So, who would like to volunteer next? Okay, Maurice, your question is actually, that is actually perfect for you, actually. What kind of Valentine's Day candy do you like to eat?
Thank you, Mr. Topics Master. The question that was posed to me is, what type of Valentine's candy would I like to eat? And the answer to that is, though I don't eat as much of it these days, it would be chocolate in the form, and I had forgotten because I haven't seen them in a long time. They come in a heart-shaped container, I guess Whitman's or whatever brand it is. But again, I don't eat that much, as much chocolate as I have in the past. But my go-to candy during Valentine's would be a box or container of chocolates. Back to you, Topics Master.
Thank you, Maurice. That so made me hungry a little bit. Okay, who would like to volunteer next? Okay, David, your question is, this kind of puts you on the spot, just as a warning. Did you have a secret admirer in high school you know of who gave you sweet nothings?
Thank you, Donovan. My question, did I have a secret admirer in high school that gave me sweet nothings? Gosh, you have to understand I'm 57 years old, so high school is just a vague memory at this point in my life. However, I do remember, now that you mention it, getting Valentine's cards from people, from secret admirers. I think part of it was a school tradition where we would pass around Valentine's cards. And I remember getting the stationery with all the different designs and things, and you would write whatever and give to your person that you admired. And I did get a few of those. I don't know that I ever knew who gave them to me, but that was a really special time. And as a child, that was a really sweet thing. As an adult, I've had Valentine's Day is something necessary for me to give to my girlfriends or people that I know and some of my close friends. And I do that, but in high school, yeah, I do remember getting some, but I don't really remember the details. My distant memory like that is somewhat foggy now. but that's my answer. And thank you for the question. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, David. I'm gonna do at least two more, maybe. I'm just gonna do it till 7:10. Okay. Who would like to be the next? Who wants to be the next round? Go. I guess I'll call. Okay. Buck. Okay. Your question is, what is your perfect ideal Valentine's Day in your mind?
The perfect ideal Valentine's Day in my mind is the same as the perfect ideal birthday in my mind, which is the same as the perfect holiday, Christmas, any of mine in mind. I'd love to take a nap. I got 4 kids. I work full time. Being able to just like lay down and take a nap during the middle of the day, that would be perfect to me. To just lay across the bed or on the couch or on the floor and just watch the back of my eyelids for 45 minutes, an hour. I'm not so stingy and crazy to think, a 2-hour nap or something like way out there like that. But that would be perfect to me. Just a nap. Looks like I'm probably going to get chocolates. Probably going to get a lot of homemade cards, which I love because my kids are going to be making homemade Valentines and being excited. And we'll have chocolate and candy and we'll watch a Valentine's movie like Bugs Bunny or something, Valentine's or something like that. But I just won't get a nap. Thank you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you, Buck. I'm just gonna do one more question, and I think that should be enough time for the rest of the meeting. Who would like to go next? Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and go on Kyle, actually. So, what is one of your fondest memories of Valentine's Day?
All right. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. I've been asked what is one of my fondest memories of Valentine's Day. And I've actually got a couple fun Valentine's Day memories. One of the first and fondest ones I can think of was it was a time when Cheyenne and I think we were either still dating or we just got married. And I was like, I'm gonna try to make some shrimp scampi for Valentine's Day. And I've never made it before, ever, even once. And I did it and it actually worked out and it wasn't terrible. So that I was super just proud that I was able to pull it off because it was like, well, here goes nothing. And then it just somehow worked out. So I was pretty satisfied with that, pretty happy. And I was able to act like I knew what I was doing for just a little bit longer until Cheyenne got to know me. So, and then one of the other fond Valentine's Day memories I have was in high school. You could send people like lollygrams and stuff like that, and you could have like a little note written in it. So the people who were in charge of lollygrams did not care what you wrote. So some friends and I were just sending each other like all sorts of crazy messages just to like either make each other laugh or like irritate each other or whatever, like pretend it was from somebody else just to give people a hard time. And one of my buddies, I don't know if you guys know that joke where you're not supposed to think about the game. And if you think about the game, you lose the game. So it's sort of a fake game, but he would get very upset if you managed to get him to think about it and he lost. So I sent him a lollygram that just said the word "the game," So he read it, he looked at it, he read it, the game, and I could hear him in the other classroom, just like, ah! So losing his mind over losing the game. So those are my two most fond Valentine's Day memories. And with that, I turn the lecture back to you, Donovan.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm just gonna go ahead. We had enough questions for tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and relinquish the lectern back to the Toastmaster for the evening. Thank you. Have a
All right.
good night.
All right, thank you, Donovan. So we had a good table topics, and people were able to their views on Valentine's Day and the different nuances contained in their moments during Valentine's. So at this time, we will go to our general evaluator, which is Buck.
Thank you very much. Well, I've got a very good team tonight. Let's start with our grammarian and all counter. David, if you would give us your report.
Sure. Hi, everyone. As the grammarian for this evening, I don't believe I heard any use of the word of the day, including myself, actually. The word of the day was nuance, which is a great word. So maybe we'll just have it again next week and try it. We'll just do a mulligan, a do-over on that. For as far as improper use of the English language, nothing stood out. That's nothing noteworthy there. For the only speeches we had were our table topics speeches. And for those, Buck gave 2 speeches, and I didn't detect any filler words in Buck's speeches. I could have missed something, but I didn't notice any. For I gave 1 table topic, and in mine, I know I said at least one I remember, because it just is seared in my brain. It's like, oh, I just said For Cheyenne's table topic, I did not detect any filler words. I did not detect any for Maurice. And for Kyler, Kyler was okay. I think Kyler has an issue sometimes with filler words, but he does pretty. If you hear some of the greatest speakers in the world use filler words, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something good to limit. But having said that, for Tyler's first table topic, I detected so a few times used kind of unnecessarily when he was going from one topic to the other. It was like, so, and then I detected, at least once. For Kyler's second table topic, I detected a few so's, and then he introduced like there for a minute. And so when he said, it was like this or like that, so just that was my note. But Kyler does very good, and his table topics are entertaining, and I always love hearing from Kyler. But I believe that covers everyone that spoke, and that's my grammarian and all counter report. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. And my timer tonight is Cheyenne. Would you please?
Yes, so I kept track of the time for each of our table topics, so I'll run through them real quick. Kyler, your first one was 1 minute and 45 seconds. Buck, your first one was 1 minute and 38 seconds. Mine was 1 minute and 14 seconds. Maurice, yours was 45 seconds. That's how you tell you're not a true chocolate lover, because you couldn't. I feel like you were like, I feel like you could have went on and talked about dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, and fruit-filled chocolate, but maybe you can get back into chocolate. But it's probably better for your health. Anyways, David, yours was 1 minute and 26 seconds. Buck, your second one was 1 minute and 21 seconds. And Kyler's, your second one was 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Great meeting tonight. Having a small group and doing the table topics this way really is a good way to keep everybody from having to do 2 and 3 roles. I really enjoyed having it in this format. I thought we did really well, started reasonably on time, and we're finishing up ahead of time. great job to everyone. I like this format for a real small group. That is my report, and over to Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you very much, Buck. Do we have an educational overview tonight? Okay. No awards apparently either. We'll take a few seconds since it's 30 minutes until the end of the meeting. At least we can try to get some roles for next week or make an effort to get some roles.
I don't think I'll be here next week. I have a meditation class
All
to
right.
go to. So
Okay.
I think my kids have plans for me next week,
All right.
and it is not a nap.
Okay. Let's see. Well, anyway, you'll have time between now and Monday for those who plan to attend next week's meeting to select a role or a speech if you have a speech in your mind or that you want to give. Well, hate to cut a meeting off 29 minutes short, but that's what it looks like it's going to happen. Anyway, I hope you all had a good meeting. And if there's no more comments or anything else, we'll just cut the meeting.
Hey, quality over quantity.
Yes, quality over quantity. Yes.
I can do an end of the meeting joke.
Okay, do your end of the meeting joke.
So do you know why elephants paint their toenails pink? It's so they can hide in cherry trees and you won't see them.
Oh.
So have you ever seen an elephant in a cherry tree? Has anybody? See, works pretty good, doesn't it? All right, that's it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll work
Well,
on
here's one that you may have heard before. No. How do you eat a whole elephant?
I don't know.
One bite at a time.
Very good.
Right. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll conclude the meeting.
Very good.
Bye, guys. You have a good evening.
All right,
Bye.
good evening. Good night.
Here you are.
See you. 3, 2, 1.